Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Drop and Gimme 20 podcast with Phil Risden. I am Phil Risden. How are you guys doing today? Good? All right, cool. I think I'm gonna do that every week. I'm just gonna pretend like somebody else is here with me, trying to have a conversation, so I don't go insane. I see you guys have noticed that I added the camera this time. I felt like maybe you guys would like seeing this beautiful face that I talked about. I did. I still haven't shaved this week, but I will again. So you will see me look like a beautiful, beautiful 10-year-old. Yeah, this is cool, man. I'm happy to be back and everything. I just decided to stop and do this before I go out to play a little bit of basketball. That's right. I'm trying to work out nowadays, trying to do all that type of stuff, which is really, really cool. Before then, I used to never work out. I think, when I was a kid, I used to never work out. It sucks because it's just like I wasted all that kid energy in those kid joints. Back then, like my knees were fine, but I didn't give a fuck. I was just at home watching anime and playing video games. And now I'm like, fuck, I could use those 17-year-old knees. That would be very, very nice. Yeah, I only started giving a shit about my life as I started slowly marching toward death. The older you get, that's when you start caring about working out and all that stuff. You ever meet one of those people who just like always loved it? It's like, what are you, a fucking psycho? You fucking weird. Like, I get liking sports. Liking sports is different. You know what I mean? But there would be those kids, like very few of them, but there would be a few kids who like they didn't do any sports, but they still like were bench pressing and shit at like 15, and you're like, what are you doing? Those are useless muscles. You now you're just antisocial and large. you know, it's different if you're antisocial and you're super skinny and all that stuff, or you're really fat. Because it's like then it's endearing. It's like, oh, there's a reason he's antisocial. But if you're antisocial and just ripped, then you're just scary. You're a hitman without a job. Just waiting for the next job to come in. It's fucking weird, man. Yeah. So I don't know. Work out more, guys. That's what I'm here to tell you, I guess. I don't know. Fucking life is very interesting right now. Speaking of basketball, have started watching the news more, which is nice. So speaking of basketball, I saw one of my friends, Oba NYC. He's a great DJ. Shout out to Oba. He put out that he was reading an article, and I saw the article too, saying that NBA players need to take charge with, kind of having accountability for the vaccine and stuff like that, because the black community, not all the black community wants to, get the vaccine. So they're saying it'd be nice if these NBA players would take it and kind of advocate for the vaccine, and saying that it's their responsibility and the NBA needs to take responsibility. Which, listen, I am for the vaccine. I'm trying to get that shit like as soon as I can. I'm there. I'm with it. I believe in that shit wholeheartedly. I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. And I think it would be nice if NBA players got the vaccine, showed that they got the vaccine, put it on the Instagram and all that stuff. But at the same time, that's their personal lives, and you have no right to tell them whether or not they should be doing that. And also, let's not act oblivious to why like black people don't want vaccines. Again, I'm for it, but like I hate this. I've been seeing this in the news and in the media constantly about like how like black and Latino people, don't want to get the vaccine, and especially black people don't want to get the vaccine and all this stuff. And it's like, but they never ever like bring up history, like the reasons of why. Like, it's not like black people are just clearly adverse to shit like that. Like, we actually give a fuck about our health. We do care, even though even though you go to a cookout and you might see some food that you're like, how much salt and sugar is in this? We actually do care about our health. We don't want to die, but there's been a lot of reasons that black people don't want to go to the fucking doctor, or Latino people don't go to the doctor. I've seen on the news people are talking about like how a lot of Hispanic and Latino people, don't want to get professional help, from doctors and shit like that. And it's like, it's not like they don't want to get professional help. They just know that if they go there, they're going to get some sort of trouble, and they might be undocumented, and they might get kicked out of the country. So if it's not that bad, if it's not life and death, then they'd rather stay home and be more sure that they're safe. Stop playing like you don't know why they act like that. You know what I mean? Like, my mother was a nurse in a couple different hospitals for a while, and even as a black woman, working in a hospital, she would always talk about how they don't listen to black people. They think that they're always trying to get drugs, like, no matter what. I was even watching John Oliver the other day. Nigga, that was like 2 years ago. It was like 2 years ago, but actually, and I wasn't watching this shit. I went to a taping. See how comedy gets you to fucking lie about shit, But I was watching a taping of it. I was literally there, and it was all about the racial discrepancy of the medical field, and how in a lot of even like pretty recent medical textbooks, they still say things like people of different races have different pain thresholds and shit like that. And it's like, no, they don't. You're just not listening to them when they say that they're in pain, because you think that because of their skin color, they automatically are lying to you to get drugs. Meanwhile, white people are at the top of the opioid epidemic. So what the fuck do we know, It's fucking bullshit, man. Like, you wonder why black people are afraid to get a needle in their arm from the government, but then you never bring up the Tuskegee experiments or any of that shit, You never bring up the fact that they took a bunch of black people in the South, poor as hell, and just for years and years injected them with shit and purposely gave them syphilis to test them and experiment on them, and never made them aware of any of this. They told them it was a regular-ass medical procedure that they just needed to be a part of, Or even the fact of, like, Henrietta Lacks, who has been instrumental in cancer research and cancer care, She had some certain type of cell line that if it's nurtured the right way, it can, like, regenerate, so it has a very long-lasting power, and it's been really helping medical research since it's been discovered. And I think that was in, like, the late 40s and early 50s. She died in 51. But, like, they never even told her she was a part of that. They never made her aware of any of it. They just took her blood and examined it and kept it. That's what, like, and they never even compensated her. Like, that's why I'm not into shit like 23andMe and, like, Ancestry.com. I do not believe in that shit. Like, I'm interested in, like, learning who my, what my culture is or what my past is, sure. But I do not trust these private organizations taking DNA samples of your body. And then what are they doing with it after? Are they burning it? Nah, I don't think so. I think they keep that shit. And, like, I remember being in, like, middle school or, like, high school, and them talking about, like, how in the future people are going to be able to, decide certain genetic, attributes of their children, like hair color and, like, eye color and shit like that. And don't you for a second think that they won't be doing that with, like, race and, like, skin complexion and shit like that. Like, I mean, all the only people who take those 23andMe things right now are white people. And I'm telling you, like, right now, man, like, please, black people, Hispanic people, anybody of a different race, don't take that shit. You know where the fuck you come from. You're an immigrant here, okay? At the end of the day, you kind of know where the fuck you come from. It's not no big surprise, Like, I don't know. Culture is a game for those niggas. It's not really for us. It's a way of life. So, like, just deal with that. Because, like, I'm telling you, I could, like, that shit, it will happen, man. It will happen, bro. Like, that fucking Rachel Dolezal shit was, it was a slippery fucking slope, man. Like, race is a very weird thing. It's a very weird thing. Like, I could see people being able to, change their complexions and stuff, and then that becoming, like, almost a way of, like, aristocracy. You know what I mean? Like, watch. I'm telling you, 10 years from now, the next Apple Watch is gonna be like, you can. It doesn't just have a voice to text. It also has a complete race complexion feature where you can go from Army Hammer to Wesley Snipes. Fucking, like, only the rich people are gonna have that shit, and they're gonna be, like, dressing. They're gonna be making themselves black and TikToks and shit, and then, like, making themselves white when they go to get a loan at the fucking bank. It's gonna be fucking bullshit. Depending on how much money you put in it, it's gonna have a subscription. How much money you put in it is gonna decide, like, what complexion you can actually get to. You know what I mean? So, like, rappers can be white as fuck, like, like, white rappers can be, like, white. Like, at first, like, and they'll be rapping about it and shit. They'll be like, yo, my rhymes is tighter. I got this watch, maybe three shades lighter. That was bars. You know, I think it's gonna be so fucking funny. I think it's gonna be so fucking funny, and terrifying. But it's that shit is definitely real, bro. I'm telling you. People are fucking dumb, man. People are fucking dumb, and America divides itself in so many pointless ways that it doesn't need to. And we're so money hungry that there's a lot of people that see how we divide ourselves in so many pointless different ways, and and all that different shit. And they're gonna find a way to like market that to us, And it's fucking, I don't know. I'm rambling. I'm on a rant, but I'm not wrong. Okay, I'm not fucking wrong. Ugh. Fucking the NBA's responsibility. What the fuck is wrong with you? Jesus Christ. I think I'm just angry because I've been watching too many like DJ Vlad interviews. That fucking guy. I used to love his interviews, but now I'm like kind of losing it. I like how I like how all the rappers have like figured out that he's basically like a fed or a fucking snitch. So now he's slowly gravitating over to white people. Like I saw Bert Kreischer on his YouTube channel. Bert Kreischer on a fucking hip hop channel. Like if I had to draw a fucking white dude, bro, he is who I would fucking draw. Like there's no fucking way. Bert Kreischer, you had him on. I saw Chris Hansen on DJ Vlad. What is going on? Like you have lost all fucking street cred. Jesus fucking Christ, man. I don't blame him though, because it's just like you had like people had to get off that shit. I don't. It was the stupidest thing I think I've ever seen. The amount of like rappers, black men they had just talking about the crimes that they had done or the crimes that were still like ongoing or being investigated and shit. Fucking ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. I don't blame him though. What's funny is like everybody likes to blame him. You can't blame Vlad though. Like at the end of the day, that is just his job. And like if they snitch on themselves, that's on them. Like that is really fucking true. Like it really isn't his fault. Like all he is doing is putting them in that position and asking them a question. It's their choice if they want to answer the question, in a smart way or not. And too often a lot of criminals are dumb. So they answer with the wrong answer, the very, very wrong answer. Fucking DJ Vlad and Bert Kreischer and Chris Hansen on. Who the fuck else am I gonna see? Tom Green, fucking Steve-O. What is going on here? Sorry. I know. I gotta get one of those like cool stands. Right now I got like the regular ass like 3 legs. I gotta get one of those like arm things that like hangs and it's like a windscreen and it looks all good. Right now you're getting like guerrilla style fucking podcasting. This is I'm glad that things have finally come together with the podcast though. This is nice. This is only my second episode. For a while, I wasn't sure if I was going to do it, but I love the way my voice sounds on recording. So I think I'm going to be here for a while. Sorry, guys. Shout out to Tom D NYC or Tom Delgado, because you've given me a lot of different subscribers watching the YouTubes and the podcast and everything like that. So thank you so much. If you guys don't know, Tom Delgado is a great comedian and he is a YouTuber. And I'm actually his camera guy, so half the time I'll go around with him to different places around New York City, and he'll just kind of like teach me about New York, which is hilarious because I've lived here for 10 years, but I know nothing about this city. Like I can't tell you how little about it I don't know. I know where to get the best weed. You know what I mean? I know where beers are like $2 a pop, which to me is, that's, if we think about it, that's all that really matters. That clearly is all that. I mean, who cares that, on this day, fucking on this year, somebody fought some battle here. All right. I got a tall boy for a fucking $1 and it's not Wild Stallion. All right. Tell that to the fucking presses. Write that in the goddamn history books. I got a good deal. You fought, you achieved freedom for a nation. I got a good deal. I think we're about even, buddy. No, I love that guy. I love that guy. Uh, yeah, he's a cool dude. Tom is one of those people. He's funny because he's just like he he's really into the traveling stuff and the tour guide shit. But he also has like a lot of talents. Like he's like great at guitar and shit like that. But he'll never tell you. You just have to kind of like find it out. You know. All right. Did I suck Tom's dick long enough? All right. Cool. He's a good guy. On to the next subject. I don't know what I want to really talk about now. I'm listening to a lot of music. I'm a big music guy, so this is gonna be a lot of music on here. Listen to Brockhampton's new single with Danny Brown. That shit was hot. Buzzcut. I fuck with it. I fuck with Brockhampton, yo. I'm not gonna lie. When they first came out, for some reason, I don't know, I was a little like embarrassed or some shit because they're weird. They're like a hip hop boy band almost. They're like fucking strange and shit, but they're cool. They're like a very soft Wu-Tang. There's like 9 of them. They each bring a different element to it. You know what I mean? But they're soft as shit. But it's cool. Like I think that's nice. They've made a lot of great albums. The last album, Ginger, was hot as fuck. And I still love that shit. I still listen to that single Sugar all the time. And then like, I think they have a new album coming out pretty soon and shit. So I'm super excited for that, man. Like they really do a lot of like great stuff. Like they add in a lot of like 90s R&B kind of vibes to everything. And it's cool because you got like 9 members, but they're not all rappers. So that kind of adds another element to it, which I feel like is really nice. Because a lot of times when it's like a big group of dudes and it's, usually hip hop, they're all rappers. And it's like, that's cool, but it's a lot of guys just kind of trying to out rap each other, which isn't, always the worst thing. But the fact that they have more of an R&B feel to them too, and they have people that really know how to play instruments and shit like that. Like, shit sounds nice, man. It sounds nice, and it's like it's kind of adding to like a slight different genre, I think, of hip hop. Like that's what I think is so brilliant about where hip hop and rap is going right now. Is now hip hop is like over 40 years old, so it's starting to really branch out. Before you had like 5%er like talk, and then you had like hood shit, and that was it. You either had fucking like you had fucking like Public Enemy, or you had like NWA. I almost said WNBA. No, but you either had Public Enemy or NWA, and then you would have Wu-Tang, who kind of like mixed like both of those things, but that was it, maybe a little bit R&B, like LL and stuff. He kind of went in with the soft shit. And you had sprinklings of new things, but now these are like hardline like subgenres of hip hop. Like you have the more like Kid Cudi type people who are like super melodic. Where it's like, to be honest, it's almost like they're barely rapping, but they're more like on beats and shit, so it kind of works. And then you have people who still do like fucking like super like gritty shit, like Griselda or something like that. Or you have more like the fucked up like gritty shit, almost like Eminem type gritty shit that you might have with someone like Tyler the Creator, or like Earl Sweatshirt or something, or just the Odd Future Crew or stuff like that. It's very interesting, and I think it's growing in so many different ways. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I like not being scared of rappers anymore. There's a decent amount of rappers that are popular now where I'm like, oh, fuck that nigga up. And I love that. Before, when I was coming up, rappers used to be scary. Rappers used to be scary as fuck. It's like, yo, that nigga talks about shooting you, and he really will shoot you. I grew up in the Beanie Sigel era. That was a different era of hip hop. There's still plenty of those dudes. There's a lot of those types of dudes. I mean, if you ever go and see fan pics with Lil Baby, you're like, it's the most hilarious thing. Look that up right now. I swear to God, look it up right now. You'll see the most hilarious pictures every time. It's him, his arm wrapped around a fan, and then his other hand inside of his hoodie with him clearly holding a gun. So I'm not to say that people aren't really out here. People are really out here, but I like that. I feel like I could rob Jack Harlow. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but I like that feeling. It makes me feel strong. It makes me feel tough. All right. And with that, I'll say goodbye. thank you guys so much for listening to the Drop and Give Me 20 podcast. We've learned a lot. You know, we've had some fun. We learned about the Tuskegee experiments and Henrietta Lacks, which is always great for a comedy podcast. We learned a little bit about Brockhampton and the birth of hip-hop. Not the birth of hip-hop, but the branching out of hip-hop. You know what I'm saying. I'm trying to ramp things up. I just do impromptu shit, so you got to give me a little bit of a break here. But we learned a lot, guys. This has been great. I love you all. Just so you guys know, quick heads up, I'm actually not going to be doing new episodes every Friday. I'm actually going to switch to doing new episodes every Monday. Every Monday, I believe. I think that'll be a little bit better because the Learning Things podcast, which you guys should check out, Learning Things with Kyle and Phil. That's me and Kyle Ulsberger. Please subscribe to the YouTube for that, and subscribe to my YouTube, Phil Risden, as well. But the Learning Things podcast comes out on Fridays. So we figured having two podcasts coming out on the same day at the same time might not be that great, especially if you guys want to like kind of, listen to things. You might not have time, and you might feel bombarded by shit. So I just decided to switch the days. So this is going to be the last Friday podcast, but good thing is I'm actually going to be posting a new episode on Friday as well. So you're going to get 2 episodes within the next few days. So that's a good thing. Please keep listening. This is very, very fun. I'm having a great time. If you guys want to maybe ask me some advice, I'm thinking about doing an advice segment or some advice clips that won't necessarily always be on this specifically, but it will be a part of the podcast, or it might be like a weekly thing where I'll have like an advice episode. If you guys want to send anything for advice, for the advice episodes or for this segment of the podcast, please email grovestreetcomedy@gmail.com. That is grovestreetcomedy@gmail.com. So we can, talk things out. We'll see how things go. I want to interact with my fans, so this is really cool. Other than that, guys, please make sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and please make sure to, like the podcast and share it as much as you can with whoever you can. We will be on Apple as soon as possible. That is a thing that, trust me, I already know about that. We will be on Apple very, very soon, within a few days. So please just bear with me on that. And once I get on there, you motherfuckers better like and review that shit. 5 stars all around. All right. That's been the Drop and Give Me 20 podcast. I'll see you guys later. Peace.